Welcome to another Linleys video. Hi, I'm Warren Brand and today I've joined up with Dan of Camp Life Bushcraft for a 2-night adventure in the Brecon Beacons mountains. After work today we buzzed down the M4 over the bridge and up the A470 to find the parking spot just opposite the Storey Arms Centre. The forecast is favourable and we hope to visit a series of summits while we're out this weekend. We both have fully loaded backpacks, but that hasn't put us off looking forward to covering the ground up to our first overnight stopping point. Time and the shortage of daylight is a little against us, but we hope to make camp for the first night just on the side slope off Corn Du, overlooking the Little Tarn. We should make that if we keep up a reasonable pace. It's early May and at this time in the evening the temperature is falling quickly. There is already some frost and ice residue all around, giving the views a cold appearance, while the orange glow from the late sun is beautiful and counteracting the impression of the cold evening. Anyhow, we're keeping warm enough with the climb up from the road. I was here on my own last summer and used the same path up and back from the river crossing just here. There's a little water running down the cut at this time of year, but when it rains the runoff causes much more of a torrential flow. Last year, after the heavy rain overnight, it was too difficult to cross. For the whole story, catch my video. There's a link to it in the description below. As the sunlight faded, we selected our pitching spot just off the final stage of the ascent to the top of Corn Du and keeping back a little way from the path along the ridge. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, I'd appreciate your sub. And for this video, if you like it, please give it a thumbs up too. We're not the first to pitch up here. Another tent is already in place further along the ridge. In the shelter of a makeshift windbreak, I've got my new little gas burner on the go to boil up water for my usual pasta meal. After a beer, some chat and check around the tents, we wrapped up with extra layers of clothes and tucked into our winter sleeping bags. Just before 5 o'clock in the morning, I popped out from my tent to set up a night lapse on my camera to video the sunrise. After dashing back down to the river for a top-up of water for the rest of the trip, we packed up our tents ready to head over to Corn Du. The whole scene around here in the morning was peaceful, picturesque and perfect. Clouds were building a little on the side of the top of Penifan, and that added a little mystique to the mountain range. While we were packing up, a warden came past to check on us. She was wearing an orange high-vis jacket as seen in the time-lapse here. We were informed that we didn't have special permission to camp here, but she didn't really complain. We promised to leave no trace, of course, so she didn't challenge us any further. The short climb up to the top of Corn Du is straightforward, but includes a little scramble towards the upper part. The view over the ridge overlooking the valley, including Brecon in the distance and the little tarn just below, is lovely all the way along. We've been lucky with the weather so far.
You have to speed this footage up a little.
The top is marked by a simple cairn. There's not much to see, but to tick off this summit once again is good. The view back along the ridge path and over the little tarn is stunning in this clear weather. The extra gain in height makes all the difference to the views. Onwards, and the next is Pen y Fan, the highest peak in the area. The path off Corn Du is easy to spot in clear weather, but in mist and fog, a compass bearing to check which direction to take is sensible. These hill ponies seem to roam freely about. There are a few sheep too, but they don't seem to gather together at all. After the short down and back up to Pen y Fan, we found that the summit was busy and there was even a queue for a photo moment at the nameplate on the top cairn. We took our turn and enjoyed the moment at the highest spot for a photo. "886 metres, a little higher than the summits around, but not the best one in my opinion."
Are you filming me, filming you?
Oh, it looks like it, actually, yes.
This just looks bizarre.
It does. I understand the coffee shop is open just below the ridge here.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
From this peak we were interested and had enough time to push on to the summit of Cribyn, the next summit along the Brecon Ridge. Out of all the separate summits on this ridge, Cribyn is my favourite, as the views are breathtaking in both directions along the ridge and back over the valley with Brecon in the distance. Leaving Pennyvan, we picked our way down the rocky path just as I did last summer. That time, after the very wet night, this rocky part of the summit was a veritable water feature, as shown in the older video clip here. But today, the weather was staying dry, although cold and a little bit windy. For a lunch stop, we dived off the path a little and found a sheltered spot with a rocky place to sit and brew up a hot drink and have some food. We didn't stay long, but we were briefly pelted by hail and snow for a few minutes. All part of the experience, of course, and, well, what do you expect in the Brecon Mountains? So far we've covered about half the planned route, but for this video I'll pause the story here. I hope you've enjoyed following along with our adventure so far and look forward to catching the second half. Thanks for watching and bye for now.